Boys, what's going on? Legion Rudy here playing more RuneScape Dragonwilds. Welcome to our Daily Gaming XP Grind episode 77. So we're actually going to be collecting a little bit more cooking resources as we need more. And we're always going to need more as our goal is quite high. Hopefully soon the update comes to the game where we're able to basically have that become a reality, as it would just help quite a bit. And a couple of days ago, they released a new update to the game, and it basically is going to allow you to do things from a chest, so you don't necessarily have to have things in your inventory, and a couple other little fixes. I don't really think this really pertains to us with anything. Potentially, it could help us with farming in the future. I feel like a lot of the things that we're going to be working on won't really be affected by this. So ultimately, though, it's quite a good update, really, for the people who potentially are not as far along as we are, and it can be useful in quite a bit of ways. Potentially, they've got some plans for it to make it even more useful in Felhado. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, we need lots more food resources, so we're going to be doing what we did, I believe, in the last episode, which is just collecting animal meat from various different creatures. And we left quite a bit last time. They just kept spawning in gigantic amounts, which we were so fortunate to have that happen, as sometimes they don't really spawn in those amounts. But obviously, for the sake of time, we couldn't really sit there for this crazy amount of time and keep killing the sheep and ram. And see, right now, they're not really spawning in like they were last time. I felt like we were very fortunate before to get the amount that we did, and now they're not really here at all. So, we are going to go ahead and grab all the dwellberries, because obviously these are going to be giving good XP for working on cooking. Looks like a lot of them aren't actually respawned yet. So, we haven't really been doing a lot behind the scenes. I don't really want to go focus on this area. I don't really like it that much, especially since we've got the lag when you try to load in. So we're probably going to leave. Hopefully we can get some of these to spawn in, some sheep and ram. I'm not seeing it right now though. We've got so much work to do in a game. Even though we've got quite a bit of XP and a lot of different things that we're progressing towards, there's still so much work to do. Really excited about farming and how it's going to change the game. Hopefully, it can help us with cooking. That's one of my big goals. Because once we find out what level 99 is going to require, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the range of about 1,000,000 XP, then we can start determining how we're going to progress with that, and if it does in fact help farming can help cooking, then that will help us greatly. We can spend a lot less time having to do things the way we've been doing it, and sort of shift the attention in a different way. Now we've got a sort of hope that we can kill this thing before it kills us, because obviously it's not going to take much more. One more hit and we are dead. So we did get it killed in time. Those vines are so powerful. It's absolutely a bit ridiculous how powerful they are. But if you guys are trying to work on cooking, I definitely recommend putting a lot of lodestones out here. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to sort of gather the resources for it, but I definitely think it's worth your time to have a ridiculous amount of lodestones. Depending on your play style, I'm not sure if it really even matters, because ultimately you're going to want to navigate the game at a quick rate, and I think it helps tremendously to have a ridiculous amount of lodestones. So you're going to need a lot of vault cores, but they respond relatively fast, so you should be able to get quite a bit quite fast. Now we've got to go down here and get these other sheep and ram. I don't think these have respawned. They haven't, but now we've got a situation where we're going to have to fight this berserker. I hate fighting these guys because ultimately they're just ridiculous. And that time it seemed like we got him down quite fast, but 158 XP. But now we've got a shaman over here, and ultimately, as bad as I want to go kill them, I don't think it's worth it. I think I need to teleport out of here to avoid getting poisoned and having to deal with all the extra. It's not, and then we've got the throne here, so it's getting close to dark. It's not quite dark yet, but you can see the trouble it's creating for us. Let's go over here. We don't really go here very often, and the reason I put this here, I guess, was for this. But we don't really do this often. I'm not sure if the lag's because of what we got built, so we're not even going to stop there. I guess we'll just go ahead and do this. These deer, they just run so fast. So I think we're going to go back to more of a basic area for a little bit. I think that's what we should do. It's about to be dark anyway, so this will be a good little breaker between the sheep and ram. These also look like they give, what's this, animal bones? I thought I saw, maybe not. Let's see. Don't know why I thought I saw that before. I guess they don't, but that's okay. We've got quite a bit. I think I said last time it was about 2,500. I can't quite remember. But there's so many different things to kill. And it's so hard for me because I've become this person who sort of has to kill everything in the game. And that can make things incredibly tricky because you sort of get in the habit of having to kill things when you see them. I'm sort of trying to be really careful right now because there was the Thrain and then there was the Shaman. So I'm trying to really watch where I spawn in and what I exactly do. We're going to have to leave those resources because obviously we don't want to die to get some resources from a sheep. And here comes the lightning again. It's not my favorite thing. Let's see if we can get that sheep. We're probably going to teleport back and go to sleep. As we've talked about many times before, you don't really want to hunt out here in the middle of the night. It's incredibly dangerous and it's not really worth it, to be quite honest. So we're going to kill that sheep. I guess we'll kill these other two sheep and we'll come back here. And then we could just pick those resources up because our inventory is full as well. But I think eventually we're going to reach our goals. I think it's just going to take time, and it looks like it's a little bit too early to go to sleep. I thought it was a little bit later, so I sort of read that wrong. But maybe we'll just sit here for a second and actually take a little drink of water. Maybe that's what we'll do. But anyway, sorry about that. There's our cool mannequins, which was such a fun project, and I don't know why we decided not to really build any more of them. I think it's because we built so many already that I don't really see the point anymore. Obviously, it's really cool. Maybe we'll go back to it once new armor comes to the game. But the only reason I could see needing to build that many of anything, really, would basically be that you're trying to... basically, you're trying to level up Artisan, things like that. And it's not really something I'm worried about right now. I forgot to put these in the right chest. It's important that you keep up on things like this, because if you don't, it's basically just going to be a problem later. We've got so many resources for cooking, but even though we've got all that, just so much, it doesn't even really matter, because you don't really get a lot of cooking XP for leveling up cooking. So I don't really think it's going to make a huge difference. But obviously, the journey that we're on is not one that's going to show results quickly. It's just basically battering against time and putting in lots of effort to get this. But I'm not going to go after that sheep. He's really far away, and I don't really want... I need to put another lodestone there, because I notice sheep and rams sort of spawn there sometimes. But it doesn't really make sense. Did I already grab all these as well? I think I did. I did, so we need to go. There's more resources, but basically, so much work that we still need to do in a game. And hopefully you guys are enjoying your experience in RuneScape Dragonwilds. And I know the updates just don't seem to come fast enough. And ultimately, we all want Fell Hollow. I think that's what we all really want. I know range is coming to the game, but I don't really think it's going to have the kick that it needs to. I think it's just going to sort of be something minor. Um, Obviously, probably no new creatures come into the game with it, which is really unfortunate. I've talked about it quite a bit, why I understand, and even though I understand, it doesn't mean I'm necessarily happy about it. Just to sort of touch base really quick, you can't keep introducing new creatures to the game um, without introducing new items to the game, most likely. And you only have so many creatures to choose from. So you have to be careful when you introduce things into the game because they've obviously got to have a purpose and you're probably going to have to collect things from them. So I think it only makes sense to sort of add things to the game that we're all going to benefit from. And when you're killing them, you're going to want to get things that actually need in the game rather than just make stuff just to make it because we're complaining or we need more content. So I think that's really important. But obviously, we just are killing tons of sheep and ram. It's going to be really crazy. I've talked about this a little bit to see how many resources we have inside of our warehouse. When this is all said and done, I think it's going to be an extreme amount. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of it because I've sort of already leveled up a lot of these things that these resources are going to be used for. So it's really just going to be this crazy amount of resources lying around, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that's actually a really cool thing when you've put so much time into a game and you can really look at your achievements. There's no real money in the game, no sort of that sort of thing, but I think money's a cool thing, but it doesn't really work for a survival game unless there was sort of like NPCs around a game that sort of took payment for things. But I think that might still be a little bit weird potentially, but I don't think they're going in that direction anyway. I just sort of thought it was something interesting to sort of talk about. So, let's see. The dwellberries are not back. Really just killing sheep and ram. And I don't really think I want to work on cooking directly in this episode because I feel like that update might be close where you're not going to need to use as much resources to level cooking. And I think it would be actually just a complete waste to start using my resources when a better method is on the horizon. Look at all these sheep and ram. So much XP, so much resources. So nice. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a ridiculous amount of XP in Magic, that's for sure. I feel like they could raise the amounts you're getting. I feel like they're very light on the XP. But then again, as we've talked about numerous times, we don't really know what 99 is. So potentially, we're already really close. But I doubt that because you obviously want to keep the game going on. So I know a lot of people probably don't get to play the game as much as I do. I don't really think I play as much as I used to, really. Sometimes I get the opportunity to do some behind the scenes, but I think for the most part, I am putting chunks of time into the game. But I think since I don't have as much to do in the game anymore, and it's very sort of centralized to a couple skills. So I think that's why I see progress, even though I'm not putting in loads of time. But I'd say we're easily coming up on 400 hours into the game. So obviously I've already put my fair share of time and work into the game. I think I'm just at a different stage now where I've got certain things I'm working on. There's more sheep and ram spawning. So right now we're getting really lucky. Maybe it's time of day. That could very well be that a certain time in the day you get more to spawn in than other times. I think that would make a lot more sense because I really can't put my finger on why sometimes I'll come here and there's just an insane amount of sheep and ram spawning in, and then other times I really can't seem to find that many. We're going to have to basically use our personal chest here again in a minute because we've got so much stuff. It's filling our inventory, and we're about to get hit by a lightning bolt here, unless we made it away in time. But that stupid plant, I'm really thinking about basically putting a piece of wood there so it doesn't keep spawning in, because I'm tired of dealing with it. Ultimately, I just want to grab my dwarfberries and do what I need to do. And there's more sheep and ram on the other side already. They spawned in. So, oh my goodness. We've got this massive horde of zombie. Why did I just say zombie? I meant to say sheep and ram. That's actually really ridiculous and wild that I would say zombie, because there's definitely no zombies here. Let's go ahead and go up here. I'm so glad none of the sheep left. Very happy about that. I think our inventory is full as well. So we're going to have to use our personal storage chest. And it looks like all the rune essences actually spawn back in as well. It's unfortunate because I think I've already spent quite a bit of time in this video. And I just don't, basically, I'm not going to go back and shoot down all the rune essence. Because that's not even what this episode is about. We're not trying to shoot down more rune essence. I feel like that's something I can do behind the scenes. And don't really want to go do that right now. Even though it's actually a rather quick process, it's not really my goal right now. My goal is to work on cooking. You can't do everything in a day unless you're basically planning on spending quite a bit of time in the game. And so we've got to pick and choose what we want to do. And today we decided to kill sheep and ram and collect resources. It's so good too, because you're actually going to be picking up animal bones. And it's not been confirmed or anything, but I would have to imagine that that's going to be basically the beginning of prayer. All the animal bones that you're going to be getting. So if you have put an incredible amount of time into grinding these guys, you're going to put yourself in a really good position for prayer, if that's the route that they go. But ultimately, I feel like what other route could you go? So I really think you'd be benefiting yourself quite a bit. And even if they didn't, you'd have a lot of XP and whatever attack style you're going with, and a lot of other resources, so you could potentially level up artisan and things like that. We are going to shoot these down just because we're right here and it makes sense, and because we can grab these dwarfberries. So it makes sense for a lot of reasons. So we are going to be calling it really soon here. I think I probably want to kill a little bit more. Maybe I'll fill up my inventory, and then we will go ahead and head back to our base, basically bank everything, and then do an XP update. Obviously, we like to do that at the end of the episode. Sometimes we do it in the beginning, especially if we've done a lot of behind-the-scenes work, and we recently have not. So I don't really think there's a lot to talk about, unless potentially you didn't see our XP update in the last episode. So let's see what we got going on up here. We don't really have any animals to kill, except some wolves. Let's kill these guys. It's been a while. Oh, we've got a thrain. We really don't want to deal with that. Hopefully we can hit this wolf and not trigger the thrain. I do not like fighting those. They're way too powerful, and ultimately, they don't really make a lot of sense to me. I feel like they're just an insane opponent, and your drop for killing them is absolutely just not very good. I feel like that would have been a really good creature to give a rare drop to. That's just incredibly difficult to get. I think that would have made a lot of sense. We're going to run by here and shoot these down just because we are right here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. So much rune essence everywhere. So many sheep and ram. It makes it so hard to just focus on the task at hand because I'm so used to killing them. Basically, it triggers something in my brain. Makes me want to kill them. It's very tricky and crazy, really. So we've got all those. I think our inventory is full. We picked it up now. We're walking really slow. So hope we can get over to a lodestone rather fast so we can get back to our base. But I don't think it's going to work quite like we think because we've got that shaman right there. And if we interact with him, it's going to cause a problem. So hopefully we can get over here without him sort of causing a problem for us. Let's see. He's going the right way, so that's good. Let's go back to our base. let's go ahead and pull up our personal storage chest, grab everything out, and then put it away. So let's see. It won't hold everything because we've got too much. So we're going to have to use another one. Let's see what we've got in the bottom one. Not that much. So let's put all this away. So many animal bones to add to our other animal bone chest. But anyway, let's go over it. Go ahead and do an XP update. Okay, so we've got 305,000 attack XP. We didn't really work on this, so wood cutting 1,001,000, construction 2,010,000, rune crafting 636,000 XP, magic 99,712 XP. So we're so close to 100,000. Mining 4,100,000, artisan 4,094,000, and cooking 249,512. So obviously, magic went up quite a bit. And cooking will go up once we actually use our resources. It just takes time, and it's part of the progression. So hopefully you guys are enjoying our content. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your experience in RuneScape Dragonwilds. Really excited about a lot of the updates to come to the game very soon. And until next time, Legion Ruta out.